Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chronicles of the Range Monkey.
Hi.
I am Neil, I'm here with Natalie, and we just finished up day 2 of MAG40, so we're going to chat about that a little bit.
09 Solutions is a member of our holster consortium focused on duty gear for law enforcement officers and for private citizens who are using load-bearing vests. They got all kinds of great stuff. Their radio holder is incredibly cool and really good. Check them out at 09holsters.com in the link in the description.
All right, so Natalie, we just finished day 2. It was super hot out at Del Rapids, so we came into the Alliance. I even got a shirt here so I can represent now. This is a cool range. This is what we have named this kind of our home range for the active self-protection instructor certification. So every time somebody goes through the instructor certification program, you get to come here and do some training, and you'll get to meet, it's a cool staff, and Natalie works here. And I think a couple weeks ago on one of the videos you talked about that. Maybe we can do a little tour of it for everybody at some point while we're here. But it's not 100 degrees in here. There's air conditioning. This is the VIP room because Natalie is a VIP. So it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about MAG40.
Awesome.
What did we do today? And let's talk about the shooting portion.
Okay. So we went out there for a couple of hours today and we worked on grip. We tried a couple of different grips, and some of them were very difficult, but after I learned how to do them and could do them correctly, I did find that my shooting, I wouldn't say improved, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I think, I got to see a couple of different ways that other people do it and show that I could do it like that too, and I could do if I practiced, I could do it as well as I can now.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the MAG40 shooting portion of it, it's not like super high-end operator shooting stuff. We're not doing any barrel rolls or anything like that, but Moss gives you a few different techniques, and so you can do your thumbs for, we're a big thumbs forward group. I like it. It works well. That's what Natalie does. That's what John does. You can do your crush grip, you can do your thumbs high, whatever, but he kind of teaches you the technique to learn how to do those others. So as you come across others, whether you're an instructor or not, at some point, if you're a gun person, you're going to talk to somebody about guns, and it's kind of cool to have that in your toolbox, right?
Right.
So that was pretty cool. We talked about some grip. We talked about some stuff that, frankly, isn't in my shooting repertoire, and I think I'm a decent shooter. So it is hard to, when you're an instructor, you always hate that guy in the class, and so if you're that guy and you know better than anybody else, zip your mouth. And so I don't feel like I know better than anybody, but there were things there that I'm like, ooh, this feels weird and I don't like this, but I'm not going to say something because I'm some big nothing, because I'm a nobody, right? I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm going to embrace the weirdness, because that's what I always tell people in our classes, right?
Embrace the weirdness.
So I embraced some weirdness today. Probably there's a couple things that I might pick up. There's some coaching techniques for sure, and that's been really fun for me. But it's interesting that there's some folks in this class. Natalie's not the only person in this class that it's her first official class, right?
Yeah.
So we started out with what we did, the 6 reload 6. So we worked on some reloads this morning.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because what we see in videos is that reloads in civilian gunfights just are almost non-existent, right? Not that they don't happen, but it's about 35,000 some odd videos John's done, and never really seen one come into play. That isn't to say don't carry a reload. That's not what we're saying, and don't not practice them, but we don't practice them a lot, right? And so that was interesting, right? So what was it? The course of fire was everything's 6 in a mag, so it was shoot 6, reload, shoot 6, right? And you got to do it at your pace the first time.
Yep.
And then what was it the second time? There was time on it. And
it was 8 seconds the second time, and then was it?
I think it was 12 seconds.
Oh, it was 6, reload 6, and 12.5 seconds.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yep. And then it was 6, reload 6, and 8 seconds.
Yep.
Was the fast one. And so now if you go to Moss's higher end classes, is level 2, 3, and 4. You got to do this stuff at quad speed, and I think the fastest you got to do that in is like 6 seconds. So it's 6 reload 6 in 6 seconds. That's sporty.
Yeah.
6 reload 6 in 8 was pretty sporty for me. Did you make it? We're in the same relay.
No, there was one that I didn't shoot.
Okay.
And I knew that there was one left, and they blew that whistle, and shoot.
So Natalie and I are in the same relay on the class. So in this class, they've got to split up into 2 relays. We're in the same relay. She's cleared on the left end of the line. I'm cleared on the right end of the line. She doesn't need her dad teaching her anything in this class. I feel like we have a good enough relationship that we can coach and teach and all that. But that's not why we're spending money to learn from Asad Ayub. So I'm keeping my complete distance here. And I'm in the same relay, so I don't get to watch you shoot, which is it's not fun for me I really want to see you shoot. But of course, every time we get done shooting, I look down there and I'm like, okay, she's on target 3, and so I'm paying.
I'm on target 2.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I was gonna say target 2 is a better shooter than you.
Yeah.
So the reloads was pretty fun.
I had not tried that yet. I don't carry extra mags on me because I'm small, and quite frankly, my pants fall down when I put too much in them. But I don't carry the extra mags, so I've never really thought to practice the reloading. And in a gunfight, if you have extra mags, then you should probably practice that a little bit. And a lot of this class has been learning new skills that you might not use on the range every time you go, but you might have to use them in a fight someday. Like, you might have to change up your grip if you're shooting somebody coming in your rear view mirror. You might have to change your grip if you're on the stairs. You don't even have a stance if you're on the stairs, and you got to learn how to adapt to that. And so it's really been interesting learning all of those extra skills.
Yeah, from a perspective of a dad, it's really fun to watch you engage in the learning process, and so it's been fun. There are a lot of friends of ours, from the YouTube and media community that have been in this class as well, and Natalie's kind of a celebrity here with these folks, so it's been fun to watch everybody fawn all over Miss Natalie and the Range Monkey. But where did we end up shooting today? We ended up at, we did a concentration drill. How'd that work out for you?
Which one was that?
That was the 18 rounds in one hole.
Oh, that one was fun. We had to 6 reload, 6 reload, and they said aim at the 1-inch target. And they said if you aim at a 1-inch target, hopefully you should get all of them about around there. I think, how many yards was it at?
We did that at 4 yards.
4 yards.
Yep.
And the first 9 were all in the exact same bullet hole. Not touching. Now, I didn't make a little circle. I made one hole. And then the rest of them were like, I don't know, I probably had like a 3-inch group or something like that. I got so cocky. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yep. But it was a total of 18 rounds. So it was 6 reload, 6 reload.
So I got half of them
6.
in one hole. I'm calling that a pass.
That's pretty good. Down on my side, I drilled out a really nice little tight group. Everything was doing good, and then I caught brass down my shirt from my neighbor. So I literally stopped, cleared the brass, and it's a focus drill. That's what they literally call it, a focus drill. So I'm like, okay, refocus, and then I threw one about 3 inches. The shooting is really about focus. The reason they did the focus drill at 4 yards instead of 25 yards is because at 25 yards you throw, the wind can affect, different ammo can affect, there's so many different things that can affect it. So we do that one up pretty close because then you take some of those variables out of it, and it's kind of nice. But that was a pretty fun and interesting one to do. It was fun to see some of that. There was also one...
the sensory deprivation drill, which was probably controversial.
Really?
Maybe. Okay. So we were shooting, and he had us get the gun out on target and then close our eyes and pull the trigger. Because when your eyes are open and when you find your sights, the little voice in your back of the brain says, now! And then you pull the trigger. And
for some people, that's true.
For some people, yeah.
Yep.
And so when you take the sensory part out of it, then that little voice in the back of your head doesn't know when to shoot, so you get a much better trigger pull. That one freaked me out. I did not like shooting with my eyes closed, but I wasn't going to be that guy, and they had RSOs everywhere around us.
It was super slow fire.
And not more than one shot per eye closed.
Yeah, so the drill was aim out, find your natural point of aim, close your eyes, pull the trigger one time, and then settle back and open your eyes and see if you were back on target. And it's really about handling recoil and getting rid of that.
Yeah, because
milking.
Wherever your bullet goes, that can show you what's happening without that little voice. Because if you have a good trigger pull, then it should be, and you have a good grip and you can keep the gun on the bullseye, then it should be around the same spot, but maybe you are slapping it a little bit. Maybe it's going up, maybe it's going down, and it was very interesting to see. Mine went, which way did it go? I think it was right around kind of where I was aiming. I think it was up a little bit, maybe up and to the right a little bit.
You're shooting really well. You're doing a good job in this class. It's weird because you come in, you're learning some different techniques of what you've learned before from John and from me. You're gonna, and those are the kind of things that you're gonna see. You've got some real world-class folks standing behind you in this class as well, so that's really fun, and you're getting to learn other techniques. Some of those techniques are not necessarily what we do, but they have a place in the industry. There's a place for all of these things because you're not always just going to stand and deliver in a gunfight. So a lot of this extra stuff is really interesting, and it gives you a chance to help coach others. Because at some point you're going to be teaching some folks this.
Yeah.
At some point somebody's going to come up to you and say, "Hey, Range Monkey, can you show me how to do this?" And you're going to go, "Well, maybe this is better for you." And that it's cool to have that knowledge. And I think you're doing great. So day 2, super hot. We learned a lot. We'll do another video on the classroom portion because there's a lot.
There's a lot to go over.
But we're having a blast. This has been such a fun time. It's really fun doing this. If you guys ever get the opportunity, a MAG40 class is a good class. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great information, some pretty serious information, but Moss is fun to listen to.
He's nice, yeah.
He's been really cool to you, right?
Yeah.
And so I can't recommend it enough. It's a great class for folks.
I mean, it's being the young female that's on the range, everybody says, "Oh, you remind me of my daughter," like watching my daughter shoot. And it's always the nicest compliment to get because I'm like, "Oh, you love your daughter," But Masad said that to me today. Oh my goodness, that was like passing the class. I was like, I did it. I can go home. I don't. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
So it has been an awesome class. I'm very thankful that I got to go, and I'm very excited for the second half.
Yeah, we're halfway done. So
halfway done.
All right, we'll see you next week, folks.
Bye.